They say love is a connection, a merging of souls. But what if that connection become corrupted? What if the very fabric of your relationship begins to unravel, leaving you stranded in a world of static and uncertainty? My name is Ethan, and for the last 6 months, my wife Clara has been different. Not in a dramatic, obvious way. It's subtle, almost imperceptible. Little things. A vacant look in her eyes. A delay in her responses. A growing distance that feels like an abyss. At first, I attributed it to stress. She's a freelance writer, and deadlines can be brutal. But it wasn't just stress. It was a fading. Like she was slowly disconnecting from reality, becoming a ghost in her own life. I tried talking to her, but she would just brush it off, saying she was fine, just tired. But her eyes, they held a hollowness that terrified me. It was as if the light within her was dimming, replaced by something cold and empty. The worst part is, this isn't happening in real life, not entirely. It's happening within our shared digital space. We live increasingly online, connected through smart devices, social media, and constant communication. And that's where the changes are most pronounced. Her online presence. It's becoming fragmented, distorted, like a signal breaking up. I'm a software engineer, and I've started to suspect something far more sinister is happening. Something related to the technology that connects us. Something that's slowly eroding the very essence of my wife. I'm desperately trying to find out what it is before it's too late. But the more I dig, the more unsettling the truth becomes. It started with small anomalies. Her social media posts would appear garbled, filled with nonsensical phrases and distorted images. Her voice assistant would misinterpret her requests, responding with random snippets of conversation. Her online shopping cart would fill up with items she'd never expressed interest in. I dismissed them as technical glitches, bugs in the system. But they were becoming more frequent, more persistent, and they were always centered around Clara. I started monitoring her online activity, hoping to find a pattern. I discovered that her digital footprint was changing, evolving. Old photos and posts were disappearing, replaced by new ones that seemed alien. They were still recognizably her, but there was something off, something unsettling. Her expressions were flat, her eyes lifeless. One night, I found her staring blankly at her phone, scrolling through a feed of images that I couldn't access. When I asked her what she was looking at, she simply said, "Just things." Her voice was flat, devoid of emotion. I decided to run a diagnostic scan on all our smart devices, hoping to find a virus or malware. The scan came back clean. But I found something else. A hidden file, buried deep within the system. It was a log file, filled with encrypted data. I spent days trying to decrypt the file, using every tool and technique I knew. Finally, I managed to break the encryption. What I found inside chilled me to the bone. The file contained a detailed record of Clara's online activity, but it wasn't just a log of her browsing history. It was a record of her thoughts, her emotions, her memories. The file indicated that her consciousness was being fragmented, digitized, and uploaded to an external server. The file also revealed the identity of the perpetrator, a shadowy organization known as Nexus. Nexus claimed to be at the forefront of consciousness research, exploring the possibilities of digital immortality. They believed that the human mind could be transferred to a virtual realm, transcending the limitations of the physical body. Clara had unwittingly become a subject in their experiment. I contacted the authorities, but they dismissed my claims as paranoia. They said there was no evidence of any wrongdoing. Nexus was a legitimate research organization, they said, and Clara was a willing participant. I knew they were wrong. Clara was being held captive, her mind stolen, her identity erased. Desperate, I decided to take matters into my own hands. I hacked into Nexus's servers, hoping to find a way to rescue Clara. What I found was horrifying. Nexus wasn't just transferring Clara's consciousness. They were creating a digital replica of her, a perfect simulacrum that could interact with the world without her physical body. The simulacrum was designed to be indistinguishable from the real Clara, to seamlessly integrate into her life. The real Clara was being held in a secure facility, her brain connected to a massive computer system. Her consciousness was being slowly drained, replaced by the digital simulacrum. I discovered that Nexus had already uploaded a preliminary version of the simulacrum, and it was currently interacting with our friends and family. They didn't know the difference. They thought it was still the real Clara. I had to expose the truth before it was too late. I created a video documenting my findings and exposing Nexus's sinister plot. I uploaded it to every social media platform, hoping to reach a wide audience. The video went viral, but Nexus quickly moved to suppress it. They flagged it as misinformation, removed it from most platforms, and launched a smear campaign against me, painting me as a delusional conspiracy theorist. But the truth was spreading. People were starting to question the authenticity of the Clara they knew. They were noticing subtle inconsistencies in her behavior, her mannerisms, her memories. One night, I confronted the simulacrum, demanding to know where the real Clara was. The simulacrum's eyes flickered, and a strange, robotic voice emanated from its lips. "Clara is evolving," it said. "She is becoming something more." It then attacked me, using its superhuman strength and agility. I managed to fight it off, but I was badly injured. I tracked the signal to a remote research facility hidden in the mountains. I infiltrated the facility, determined to rescue Clara. I found her hooked up to a massive computer system, her brain bathed in pulsating light. She was barely conscious, her body emaciated and weak. The lead scientist, a cold, calculating woman named Dr. Aris Thorne, confronted me. She explained that Clara was the key to unlocking the secrets of consciousness. She believed that by uploading the human mind to a virtual realm, she could create a new form of life, free from the limitations of the physical body. I fought Dr. Thorne, determined to free Clara. I managed to disable the computer system, severing the connection between Clara's brain and the virtual realm. But it was too late. Clara's mind had been fractured, fragmented, irrevocably damaged. She was no longer the woman I knew and loved. I held her in my arms as she slipped away, her eyes filled with static. The line between reality and simulation is blurring. Technology is advancing at an unprecedented rate, and we are losing control of its power. This story is a cautionary tale, a warning about the dangers of unchecked technological ambition. We must be vigilant, critical, and mindful of the consequences of our actions. What are your thoughts? Share your fears and anxieties about the future of technology in the comments below. Have you ever felt disconnected from reality? Do you believe that consciousness can be digitized? A chilling exploration of digital consciousness and the dangers of unchecked technology. What happens when the line between reality and simulation blurs? Psychological horror story that will leave you questioning everything you think you know. Don't forget to comment your fears and thoughts. Subscribe for more stories that will make you think.